Welcome to Recovering Addict. I'm LT. I'm an alcoholic addict.
I'm Felice Weaver, the wife of an alcoholic addict.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm an alcoholic addict.
There he is. There he is, guys. There's Merk. Not the Merk, the different Merk. This is the Mark. This is Penny's husband. Some of you guys got to meet him in the Zoom the other night and hear a little bit of his story. But Mark and I's story starts 15 plus years ago back in a jail cell. Level 3, Weber County, locked up 6 hours a day, out for 6, and now we're back. Or now we're back. I'm hearing noise on the porch. Must be Polly listening to our show on the porch. I was like, what is that?
Polly.
Well, I'm still, okay, I'm an alcoholic addict. I ran from a million cops, right, in my day. I hear that sound of a radio type, Fox 32, you know? I still get like, oh, crap. Cops are here.
Oh, yeah. Cop gets behind you. You're in traffic. You're like,
Yep.
check my speed.
Wait a minute. I haven't had a ticket forever.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm good standings with everybody. What in the world am I afraid of? Old habits die hard, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Who we got hanging out with us today? We got Alicia and my mom. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Merk. Oh, you guys, thank you for that Zoom meeting today. A lot of you got to hear how really upset I was, and I was trying to hold it in right then. And after talking to you guys, just thanks again. I feel much better today. And another thing I feel better is because it's raining. It started raining about an hour ago. And as soon as the air started clearing up, I felt life coming back into my body. It was really weird. But now I feel much better. Mark's here. Been able to hang out with him for a little while. We got Polly on the porch. Penny just went to pick up kids. And so life is good today. And yesterday we didn't live stream, if some of you didn't see the posts and all that stuff, but we took Polly up to the top of some mountains back here behind us. Sometimes you guys see that mountain behind me on my green screen. It's called Ben Lomond, and we went up back in that area, clear up to where you could see just miles and miles and miles, and he really enjoyed it, so that was cool. Hey, John, what's up? Got to meet you on Zoom today. That was cool. Murd, what's up, brother? Yeah, we got marks for days.
There's a lot of us. We're everywhere.
That's 3 marks right now. Oh, what's up? Soupy's in the house. Right on. What's going on, Soupy? And Derek, what's going on? How you doing, brother? How's everybody today? How's everybody's sobriety doing? Give me a thumbs up or a I'm doing good. Aubrey, what's up, brother? Thanks for your advice today, too, man. That was really... I sent a text off after you gave me that advice, so I appreciate that a ton, Aubrey. You're my brother, for reals. But how you guys doing in your sobriety? Everybody, is their heads on recovery, or are you guys on relapse? Are you on, you walking with the Lord, or you walking with the devil, kind of a thing? Good day to everyone. What's up, Desmond? So these guys are from Australia.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Hi, everybody.
All right, I'm going to read the 24-hour-a-day thought of the day for June 6th. Drinking is the way we alcoholics express our maladjustments to life. I believe that I was a potential alcoholic from the start. I had an inferiority complex. I didn't make friends easy. There was a wall between me and other people. I was lonely. I was not well adjusted to life. Here's our question. Did I drink to escape from myself? What are you doing? Polly's grabbing cords from behind. That's like being in the hood of the car as we're driving. How many of y'all drank and did drugs to escape from yourself? That's that whole saying we always talk about. If there, wherever I am, there, or wherever I go, there I am. Like, I'm going to quit. I'm going to get a new start. I'm going to move across the country. Oh, guess what? You're still there. Aaron, woohoo! What's going on, fam? Right on, Polly.
Hashtag Polly on the porch.
Hashtag Polly on the porch. He's over here now.
Now it's hashtag Polly on the recliner. That doesn't sound as cool.
Not even close. All right, so meditation of the day is according to the varying needs of each person, so does each person think of God. According to the varying needs of each person, so does each person think of God. It is not necessary that you think of God as others think of him, but it is necessary that you think of him as supplying your personal need. The weak need God's strength. The strong need God's tenderness. The tempted and fallen need God's saving grace. The righteous need God's pity for sinners. The righteous need God's pity for sinners. Now, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
The lonely need God as a friend. The fighters for righteousness need a leader in God. You may think of God any way you wish. We usually do not turn to God until we need him. There's that old, there's no such thing as an atheist in a foxhole. And here's our prayer of the day. I pray that I may think of God as supplying my needs. I pray that I will bring all my problems to him for help in meeting them. Amen.
Amen.
Some good stuff right there.
The guest.
Somebody asking who this guy is behind me?
Peter missed it.
Michael Teeter. This is my friend Mark. We go back 15 plus years. We met in a jail cell long time ago. Mark had long hair all the way down to his butt. I came out of my cell and seen Mark, and we just been friends ever since. We ended up being cellies for that moment in jail. We got into a little bit of, I didn't get in trouble, but Mark did. He was making hooch.
Yeah.
You can tell the story if you want.
Yeah, I was making hooch and just trying to continue to medicate myself while I was in jail, and I only got away with it for a short time. It definitely wasn't worth it. And then after that, I got locked up in 23-hour lockdown, where you're locked down for that whole time.
23 and 1.
It was miserable. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in jail. Mark, in jail, you can make hooch. I'm sure a lot of you heard of it. So we got all the oranges we could find, crushed them up, and then he kept them. I don't know how he did it, like science. But the cops raided our cells one day, and he went down to level 2, and I went up to level 4, and we didn't see each other after that. I got out of level 4, and they put me in a halfway house. And I'd been in the halfway house maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month. And I was going back. I had gotten a job, and I was going back and forth to work. And I come walking through the hall, leaving the center one day, and Mark's sitting on this chair. And I walk by. I'm like, "Whoa, what's up, dude? What's going on?" I was like, "I got to go to work. I'll see you later." So I went to work and come back, and wouldn't you know it, he's in my cell again. So 2 times. Yeah. So in county jail, we were cellies. We ended up back or in the halfway house together as, I guess you'd call roommates in the halfway house. More like roommates.
Yeah. Then we started working at Sonic together.
Yeah, we worked at a Sonic burger joint together.
Yep. Then we started doing stucco together.
And we did construction forever.
We just kind of follow each other around wherever we go.
So I think God's had us like I fall down, he picks me up. He falls down, I pick him up, kind of thing.
Peter said, "What is hooch?"
Hooch.
Hooch, it's homemade wine, or
You want to explain how? Tell him how you made it.
I don't know. I don't want to.
You want to trigger? Nah, we won't tell you that.
Yeah.
It's basically you make alcohol in gel out of oranges.
Yeah, it's just like making wine, just letting it ferment naturally, and it works pretty good.
It smells like a screwdriver.
Yeah.
I came out of my cell one day and he was all, I was like, he's like, "Try some." I took a little sip. Woo!
Yeah.
I never dared to do it.
There you go. It's a perfect example of an addict, where you have that moment of intoxication, and then the consequences of it was weeks in lockdown. Like, was it really worth it? No, not at all. So I put all this effort into just getting high, just getting drunk, and all it did is cause more problems.
Well, that's a good segue to our topic today. We're going to talk about the addict's concept of time. And what's exactly what he's saying. He's talking about the instant gratification, the momentary pleasure for right now without even comprehending the long-term effects of that. And that's how us addicts actually think. And that's what gets us into a lot of trouble. Let me find this here. So if you guys have the book, I'm going to be on page 27, chapter 3. It's called the Addicts the Addictive Thinkers Concept of Time. Now I'm going to ask you a question while I read a couple of things. If there was a contest for the most common sentence used by addicts, what would it be? I want you all to see if you can answer this real quick. Because we have to understand the addictive thinking. Because addicts may not seem as illogical as they first appear if we understand one thing. The addictive thinker's concept of time. And that's the whole definition we're going to nail down today is what in the world is time? And I started reading. I was going to try to bust out some Einstein and all that kind of stuff. And holy cow, time is one of these crazy studied things that doesn't make sense at all. It's always going, like right now. Okay, now it's moved again. Now it's moved again, you know. And and then you leave the world, and it's definitely a mechanism that circulates the moon around the sun around, you know, the earth around the sun. And that's what's making time. And it's I don't know. Time's crazy. I tried to study it and bring something to the table all scientific and cool, but I was like, man, I don't think we're going to go that deep tonight.
Alicia said hooch is scary.
Hooch can make you go blind. If you don't make it right.
She said a bunch of people in the prison did it, and several inmates ended up in the ICU, and one died.
Whoa.
Don't make it your own hooch,
Yeah.
folks.
You might want to just stay away from that. Pretty risky.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hi, Brittany. Hi, Marilyn.
All right, so here is the most common sentence used by addicts. I can quit anytime I want. And the time, I can quit anytime I want. Thinking you're in control, right? And the crazy thing is you are affected by it. You see people affected by it, and people that are looking from the outside in at an addict, they think, how can a person insist that it is possible to stop at any time when it's obviously not true? You've proved it over and over again that you can't quit anytime you want. And the answer lies in understanding of addictive thinking. Addicts may not seem as illogical as they first appear if we understand one thing, the addictive thinker's concept of time. Addicts make perfectly good sense to themselves and others when they say, I can quit at any time I want. An addict simply has a different concept of time than non-addicts. What's up, TJ? Missed you in the meeting. Denise, what's going on? Sawyer House. Shout out to the Sawyer House. I'm glad you're here. Glad you are here. What are you on, day one? What did she say yesterday or day before? 141 or something like that?
Something like that. 150?
150? Yeah. Something or 100 and up in the hundreds, man. It was only good. Really good. The only ones that can quit anything they want is heavy drinkers. So addicts who claim that they can quit anytime actually believe it is the truth. And that question is why? It's because it's abstaining for a day or two. The addict has stopped for a time. Indeed, having often abstained for several days, addicts may wonder why others cannot realize the obvious. I can stop at any time. Meaning I can stop for a couple days here and there, right? And you may tell the addict, no, it's obvious that you cannot stop anytime you want. Your statement and the addict's, although seemingly contradictory, are both true. The key is what each person is using the word time. The key is that each person is using the word time differently. So the definition of time when you're talking to an addict thinking you can't quit anytime you want, meaning you can't quit and never use again, is the time we're referring to there. But then the addict's going, I can quit anytime I want, and then I'll just start again, a few days or a couple of weeks later. We missed Aaron today.
Because he's slow.
What's he slow about?
Aaron's comment to something you said.
Oh.
Let's see. Yes, these are our names. If you guys have missed it, I noticed Iron Wolf. Now you know.
If you don't know, now you know.
Oh, it's all good, TJ. Glad you're here.
Okay, so listen to this cool little story. All right, so let me see here real quick. For the addict, time may be measured in minutes or even seconds. Certainly in the quest for the effect of a chemical, the addict thinks in the term of minutes. Addicts are intolerant of delay. for the sought-after effect. All of the substances addicts use produce their effects within seconds or minutes. Now, he wants to go on. He says he's promised himself to do this following experience. He's going to whip up some jungle juice-looking serum, and he's going to go out on the streets, and he's going to tell everybody this. He says, I've received a shipment of stuff from South America that is better than anything anyone has ever tried. Why, it gives a high that is far superior to both heroin and cocaine combined. And so he's going to go out and make this stuff. This is just his hypothetical little research he's going to do here. I'm going to go out and tell people I got the most potent stuff ever. It's the best high, better than heroin and cocaine combined. And the addict's going to go, wow, that must have cost a lot of money. And he goes, no, that's the best part. It's only $2 a hit. And the dude's going to be like, you got to be kidding me. $2? Honest to God. And it's the greatest. He says, give me $100 worth. And he's going to go, gladly. But there's one thing I must tell you first. The high is the greatest in the world, but it doesn't hit you for 48 to 72 hours. It doesn't what? Yeah, he goes, it takes between 2 to 3 days for the high to develop, but then it's simply the greatest experience you've ever had. So what would you all do if you were in that situation? You got a drug presented to you, but the high doesn't kick in for like 2 or 3 days.
Go back. Aaron clarified. When you asked me what addicts say the most, I said, be back in 5 minutes.
Oh.
I totally read it the same way Mark did. I was like, well, there goes Aaron.
I did too. I was like, okay. I was thinking, oh, Aaron will be back in 5 minutes.
We feel you, Mark.
That's funny. I seriously read it. And I thought she was, because she said that before.
Yeah.
She's like, I got to go for a minute.
Teeter said, I was having Mexican food at a bar or restaurant today, watching them make drinks. Was like, oh, I want one. Sipping my soda till I finished eating and left. Gave LT an anxiety
attack. Yeah,
attack.
You did, buddy. He's all, look, I'm at a bar eating Mexican food. Like, Teeter, no, that's high risk.
Stop it.
I sent him that the GIF where the guy's breathing in the bag.
That's funny. Yes, Iron Wolf, you have gotten it correctly.
He probably auto-corrected on him.
No.
It always auto-corrects to Felix.
Yeah,
Felix
it
or
does that to
Felice.
me all the time.
Yeah.
That's what I get a lot.
Mm-hmm.
TJ, that is Mark.
This is my buddy Mark. 15 years ago, we ended up in jail and a halfway house together as cellies and roommates, and we've worked together, we've raised kids together, and we're still friends to this day. Marcus, yes.
I couldn't wait that long. Hey, Marcus.
Exactly the point. So the customer is going to go, yeah, right. Who wants that junk? Keep it.
Not what I was using. Need now.
Exactly. So you kind of see where he's drawing this thread, this line of our addictive thinking into the give me now kind of thing, right? It says, addicts tell me they wouldn't buy a drug regardless of its great effect and low cost if there were a long delay in the onset of its action. Part of the addiction, here, write this down. If you don't have, well, just you'll know. Part of the addiction is the immediacy of the high. Delay is not within the addict's frame of reference. Not even a part of our nature, a part of our mind, a part of our life. Give me now. The addicts don't think about the future, but only in terms of moments, not years. We don't think about the future. Just like Mark was saying earlier, I made hooch, I got drunk, and not 1 minute was he thinking about if I got, well, I'm sure he got nervous when the cops did their walkthroughs and understood the consequences, but what outweighed what? When drinking or using other drugs, addicts do not think about the consequences. The only thing they think about is the glow, a feeling of euphoria, relaxation, a detachment from the world, or perhaps sleep. These consequences occur within a few seconds or minutes after drinking or using. And these few seconds or minutes are what make up time for the addict. Remember our definition of time. So what is the addict's concept of time? The few moments that we're going to get when we get, did she give me a video today?
I don't know, but there she is.
Oh, crap.
Better ask her. Did
Better
you?
check my things.
Oh, Mark said that we call this Mark number 1.
Oh,
Mark one?
Mark one.
You know, Mark number 1.
It's because he moves really fast about Mach 1.
Oh, here it says. Oh, shoot. Oh, my gosh.
Desmond says, I gave up alcohol for one day and told my ex-wife I thought my wife would be proud of me. She turned around and said, let me know when you haven't had a drink for a year. Isn't that funny? Desmond, that makes me think I was in my IOP. And we're talking about our sobriety dates and then going to our family, and we're so proud of ourselves. And he's like, yeah, I've been clean for like 45 days. I go tell my family and I'm pretty much expecting a parade. Look what I've done. And they're still all scared of me and worried about it. So the addict's concept of time, right? Cirrhosis, brain damage, loss of jobs, loss of family, or other serious consequences come as a result of a long process and are not likely to occur within minutes. So they simply do not exist in the addict's thoughts. We only think about what's going to happen the next few moments. We don't think about years and years later. It's so far down the road that it doesn't matter. You want to get high, get now. And then you're usually in my thinking was, yeah, I understand this alcohol is destroying my liver. It's shrinking my brain. You know, it's ruining things, but you know, I'm going to quit. There's going to come a time when I quit, but right now it's okay.
You dropping the ball? He just says you dropped the ball.
I didn't drop the ball. I didn't get a video sent to me. You guys have to yell at Cassie for tonight.
Is it just a quote?
That was yesterday. So
We didn't have a show yesterday.
That's not my fault.
So let's just use that one. We won't tell the listeners.
Okay, I'll upload it real quick here.
They'll never know the difference.
They'll never know.
It'll feel like today's
I'll
quote.
get rid of this one. I'm uploading Cassie's quote right now. Okay. And that'll upload in time.
Bob, what page are we on? Bob's following along. Addictive thinking, Bob.
Page 29.
Welcome. It's been a while.
Page 29, and I'm on the paragraph right above a culture with addicts concept of time, because that's what we are, our culture. But check it out. How different is alcohol from the smoker? Who risks the consequences of serious circulatory problems, heart disease, emphysema, or cancer. The destructive effects of drinking or using other drugs may occur much sooner than those of a smoker, but both the drinker and the smoker are oblivious to the future. Similarly, people who participate in risky sexual behaviors may be taking serious chances with their health, but again, the consequences are future. And that is not within the conception of time. We don't think about what's going to happen down the road. Smokers, drinkers, people that are out, you know, unprotected sexing, all that stuff. It's just now instant pleasure, instant gratification, this next moment that I seek. And the future's oblivious until finally it hits you and you're in the hospital. And even then, I've heard of people getting tracheotomies and people are sneaking them in cigarettes and they're smoking out of that hole in their throat.
Or that story that you with the dude that shoved the tube down his throat from the other day.
Oh, and he was,
yeah.
And he's
yeah.
like pumping his stomach through his nose so he could drink more. Oh my gosh.
Because it was his body's fault.
Yeah.
It's that cat. Like, let me in. It's raining.
This is funny. I don't see Polly.
I don't know who Polly is. I don't even think he came to. He said he was coming to Utah, but I haven't seen him.
Polly on the recliner. Sherry still thinks you're on the phone. Just in case.
But let's dial it into the whole country, right? Because we are a culture with an addict's concept of time. We are part of a culture that values delivery of service in seconds. We got email, internet, fast food. We all want instant gratification. We are all in some ways operate with the addictive concept of time. We've polluted the air, the rivers, the oceans in short-term gain, disregarding long-range effects. Polly who? Hashtag Polly who?
Hashtag where's Polly?
We were up in the mountains and we were clear up. I bet you we were close to probably 85, maybe 9,000 feet in the air. And we parked on this cliff, and the cliff overlooked the whole northern. You could see all the way into Idaho and stuff. And I looked at Polly. I was like, you realize how easy it would be to just kill you and push you off this cliff? And nobody would ever know where you are, ever.
It's
This
so
just
true.
he's like, I know that if they ever did found me, like, who's this guy with black hair?
That's funny. Oh, Cassie said, just do what I said.
Just do what?
Just do what I said. She said, just a quote.
Cassie, why don't you pop on live and read that quote for us?
Yeah, do that.
She's like,
Daryl, not a tech. How do I connect to this all the time? Facebook group. Let me put the link.
yeah, we have a Facebook group, private Facebook group, and that's where you can join this community of strong, recovering people that are in the chat right now. Also, we're on the YouTube side of the house. If you want to jump over to the Recovering Addict at YouTube, you can subscribe, ring the bell, and you'll get notifications. But either way, I go live on Facebook and the Facebook page. So if you follow the Facebook page, you'll get those notifications as well. And then I have a Discord you can jump in. And then every Saturday at 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, we have a Zoom. And then every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, we have a book study Zoom with Aubrey as the host, which is phenomenal.
Hi, music lover.
So, Daryl, if you need any help, just reach out to me and I'll help you connect with whatever you need. Yep, there's no future for the addict. It's just in the now. That's our concept of time.
It is. It also becomes really difficult for us after we've got off of the drugs and alcohol, because this instant gratification is no longer satisfied, and all the chaos in our life continues to bear down on us. And so, sure, maybe I've been sober for a couple weeks or a couple months, but my marriage is still in turmoil, and that instant gratification is no longer available. So it takes time. And for an addict, alcoholic, waiting for that time to pass as you work on your marriage and get your life back in order becomes so difficult. And that's why for many of us, we'll make it a couple months, but then we give up.
Which brings us to our next segue. Man, Mark is the segue guy. We're in 12 steps, and you hear the old timers all the time. One day at a time, right? Or time takes time to combat the forces of addictive thinking. Recovering people intuitively know that one of the ways they must change their stinking thinking is to deal with their distorted concept of time. So if you're brand new in recovery right this second, you've got you're under a year, just like me. Let's right now together understand this concept of time when it comes to recovery. When we were addicts in our active addiction, we wanted it now. We wanted everything now, if I was Polly. And understand you can't have recovery now. Okay? Most people are comfortable with the idea of one day at a time is convenient, a manageable unit of time. So why we say that stuff in recovery is because as addicts, that's all we can focus on is one day at a time. If you want the results of a recovery from, where you could be in 2 years right now, you're going to fail. Often, however, people in early recovery must take it 5 minutes at a time and eventually work up to longer periods. Depending on where you're thinking and your concept of time is, you may have to take, I've heard people in NA and AA meetings all the time say, 1 minute at a time for me, man, 1 minute at a time. They're sitting there on the fritz. And that's what it takes, because what we've trained our bodies and our minds to do, especially now with the phone right at your fingertips. I mean, come on. The idea of time takes time is used to counter the addictive notion that change happens fast, such as the addict who prays, please God, give me patience, but give it to me now.
Serenity now.
Serenity now. Exactly. So we have to understand that we have to live moment by moment in recovery until we can start grasping the concept of years, and thinking years down the road, putting off the instant gratification, and sacrificing now to what can happen later.
Derek said, if anyone told me when I was 15 I would have ended up in recovery at 22, and still be in recovery at 41, I would have said you were off your rocker. Even though I have had my falls, I still come back.
Awesome, man.
There's your years right there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That is great.
Yeah, jump little doggy. The reason is, well, so let me give you a little rundown. In my early 2000s, I was a meth addict tweaker, right? I got locked up, almost did 15 years in jail, but I was locked up for a year, 3 years of probation. I had to do all the drug stuff and all the counseling. It never really kicked in, but I was so sober from like 28 to 33. So that was jails, right? And then as alcohol kicked in, by the time I was 40, I was a fifth of night whiskey drinker and ended up having to go to an institution to detox. So I had jails, institutions, and then I started reading the literature. It's like, well, the outcome is jails, institutions, and death. I've already done 2 of them. I better learn a thing or 2. And so I started listening to guys like Aubrey and Merck and Desmond and, you know, the people with years of sobriety under their belt, and Mark here, you know, all the stuff that all the seeds that he planted in me along the way before I quit took effect. And it was like, well, you better take something serious. And on top of that, Mark and I kind of realized that we were drugged through our alcohol addiction to be humbled by God in a sense, so that on the other side, we can come out with compassion and love. And so the more I can learn and teach and love another person, and the more, and I've learned that today, just like today, when in the Zoom meeting, was to reach out, tell on myself and exactly how I was feeling, and then to listen to everybody else and realize, oh yeah, you're not the only one in the world with the problem. And so I do what I didn't do before. Before I tried to live life on my terms and it didn't work. So now I'm going to live my life on the terms of the word and the people around me who are wise and do what they do. And that's proven to be good so far. So I'm not going to quit now. And I'm actually going to continue to try to be more eager in it. Even though I have my ups and downs, like this morning, I had a huge fit anxiety attack. I've never had the effort feeling come over me for 10 months that I had this morning. And it was insane. But it's all good now. I'm around good people and I love it.
Go to Iron Wolf real quick. I've been taking a day off from drinking recently, but it's still on my mind. Should I go to AA?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've been taking day off from drinking recently.
Taking days off.
Oh, Iron Wolf's the one that drinks every.
Yeah.
I think you should, man. The more you learn, the better off you're going to be. And the more you're around people and you kind of see the progression and where it could lead, you may only be drinking, like we were saying earlier, you may only be drinking on the weekends now, and you may have a slow roll into addiction. In 10 years, man, you never know what that could look like. I would definitely go for some AA meetings.
Or Zoom, like they've been talking
or Zoom, because it's going to make you a better person regardless. You're going to hear some good things and wisdom about life. Because if you look at the 12 steps, step 1 is an NA and AA is the only step that mentions alcohol or drugs. The rest of the steps, 2 through 12, are teaching you how to live life on life's terms. You're going to remove all the resentments that are blocking you from God. And 8 and 9, you're going to 8 and 9, you're going to remove all the shame and guilt through apology and amending relationships by telling people you're sorry. And you get rid of guilt and fear, all these things that are blocking you by God. And then in 11 and 12, you pray for God's will for you. And then it just carries on through life. It's going to teach you how to do life on life's terms. So I think AA is for everybody. I don't care if you're addicted to alcohol or not.
That's why they have the Al-Anon folks do all the 12 steps. It's for everybody. Did you have a spiritual foundation prior to getting sober?
Yeah. The first time, no. The second time, yes. So the first time I went to jail, I was just off the hook, running guilt-free in drugs and alcohol. And in jail is where I claimed to be saved, right? Through reading the Bible and all that stuff. And then through severe, I don't know if that's the right word, intense study of theology. Like if you guys saw my library, you would be like, what? You study the Bible like that? And I have this intense library of theology. And so I thought I knew everything. Oh, look at me. I know everything. I can actually quote all the religions, everything they believe, right down to archaeology and everything. Right. And so can this guy. And that puffed us up. We thought we were something special. And God was like, wow.
Here's some alcohol.
Don't you forget you're a piece of crap. And then I became a freaking raging alcoholic. Thank God. And he pulled me out of that 10 months ago. And now all that concepts he taught me, he's implanted compassion and love deep in my heart. And that's where this is stemming from right now.
Do we want to have Mark share a story after you're done reading?
Yeah.
Everybody in the comments, let's just do a number one. Give me a number one if y'all want to hear Mark's story. It's up to Mark, though. Do you want to tell your story?
I could give it a short rundown. It's a long story.
Ego, Sheree. Amen. Okay, let me finish this real quick, and we will be there. I only got a little page left. Okay, let's see. When addicts recognize that part of their downfall was intolerance of delay, we become willing to wait for the rewards of sobriety. We are on the way to recovery. If we want instant sobriety, we get nowhere. Take that to the bank today, okay? When addicts recognize that part of their downfall was intolerance of delay and become willing to wait for the rewards of sobriety. So before we were intolerance of delay, and now let's press forward, waiting for sobriety. One day at a time is not just a clever slogan. It's an it's absolutely necessary from addiction. And here's a little story to tell that. And all the ones are coming in hot.
Yeah, there's tons of ones.
So I once asked a friend in recovery how long he had been sober. He reached in his pocket, took out a small diary, and after fingering through the pages, he looked up and said, 9,834 days. And I asked, what is that? 25 or 30 years? With complete sincerity, he replied, doctor, I don't really know. Maybe you can afford to think in terms of years. I have to think in terms of days. And when this friend, John McHugh, died at 83 years old after 43 years of sobriety, on the night before his death, he had entered into his diary the number 16,048. One day at a time.
16,000? Dang. That's so cool.
So just to recap, we have a different concept of time. We want it now. We don't think about the future and what the future holds as far as negative consequences. And maybe Iron Wolf, maybe that's what you're seeing. Your definition of time. What?
Cherie's
one. They're from Australia. And then here is Cassie's quote of the day. He's strong enough to stand alone. Be strong enough to stand alone, smart enough to know when you need help, and brave enough to ask for it.
And you know what to do.
And that's Body by Cassie. Wait.
Oh.
Ting.
You know what to do.
Y'all know what to do.
Bring
it together and continue to spread that love. Doo doo doo.